KP's Video News, y'all. It's KP's Video News, y'all. It's KP's Video News, y'all. It's KP's Video News, y'all.
Okay, folks, here we go again. It's KP's Video News, y'all. That's right, it's KP's Video News. So what I'll need you to do is hit this red and white button here so you can get subscribed. Don't forget to hit that little thing that looks like a bell up there, that notification bell, so you can get notifications every time I have any new videos. Don't forget to like, comment, and share with your family and friends. Appreciate all of that. Appreciate all the likes and all the comments that you can possibly give. And I thank you for being who you are, and you know who I am, KP's Video News. And we got a situation here in in the state of Missouri. And it's really tragic, man. You have a situation where they got Attorney General Andrew Bailey that's going completely off the rails in that particular state. It's a few states. This is my personal opinion. It's a few states that I avoid, and it seems like it's most of the M states: Montana, Mississippi, Missouri, and M city, Minnesota. All these cities and states have some real serious issues going on. Memphis, anyway. So you have what's going on is you have a white attorney general that steps in to keep a wrongfully convicted black man in prison. And despite the judge's order for release, black man in prison for more than 3 decades on a false conviction, the said Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey has ordered the prison to keep him behind bars. Although the judge threatened to hold the Attorney General in contempt of court, the Missouri Supreme Court sided with Bailey late Wednesday evening, keeping Christopher Dunn behind bars despite the overwhelming evidence that he's innocent. The St. Louis Circuit Court judge had ordered Christopher Dunn, now 52 years old, to be released by 6 p.m. Wednesday and threatened the prison warden with contempt if Dunn remained in prison. However, the Republican Attorney General, Andrew Bailey, has been fighting Dunn's release. And Dunn has been found innocent by 2 separate judges after both judges hearing the evidence before them. And Dunn's attorney Justin Bonus stated, and he remains in prison, an innocent man with his conviction overturned. And this is a travesty of justice. This attorney general should not be fighting the judge's decision. Their job is to fight to uphold convictions, but to seek justice when a person is innocent. That is not what's happening here. And according to the top prison official told reporters that Dunn was outside the prison waiting for his wife to pick him up. But minutes later, the official retracted and said the Missouri Supreme Court issued a ruling against his release while Dunn was signing paperwork to be free. Wow, this is really crazy, man. This is really crazy. And his wife was really, really upset. And so they just like, you really have to go back and do a little research on this particular story. And St. Louis Judge Jason Singheiser, who had ordered Dunn's relief, now has until 5 p.m. Friday to respond to the state Supreme Court's decision. Dunn, 52 years old, was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole in 1990 at the age of 19. His conviction was based solely on the testimony of 2 kids, ages 15 and 12, who have since changed their statements, claiming they were pressured by the police and prosecutors to implicate Dunn in the shooting. And family members, including his mother and sister, who have always said that he was with them at the time, and they were not allowed to testify. But even after it became clear to the judge in 2020 that Dunn was innocent, 2016 ruling by the Missouri Supreme Court stated that only death row inmates could make a freestanding claim of actual innocence, meaning that Dunn would have to spend the rest of his life behind bars despite being innocent. And a new state law enacted in 2021 gave prosecutors the authority to seek a hearing if they had new evidence the convicted person might have been wrongfully convicted. Since then, St. Louis Circuit Attorney Gabe Gore, who serves as the city's prosecutor, as well as his predecessor Kim Gardner, have filed motions seeking Dunn release from prison. Gore's motion filed in February states that he has concluded that there is clear and convincing evidence of Christopher Dunn's actual innocence and undermines the confidence of the judgment against him. On July 22nd, after a two-day hearing, Judge Seinhauser agreed with Gore, stating in his ruling that the state of Missouri shall immediately discharge Christopher Dunn from its custody. But Bailey, a Republican appointed by a governor in 2023, appealed the judge's decision, ordering the prison to keep Dunn incarcerated until a final decision is made. It was the second time in 2 weeks that Bailey had ignored a court order seeking the release of an inmate whose conviction had been overturned. However, the Missouri Supreme Court ruled against him in the first case. Bailey's first failed attempt to keep an innocent inmate locked up was when a Missouri judge threatened to hold him in contempt of court in the case of Sandra Him, 64 years old, that had spent 43 years in prison for a murder she did not commit. Turns out it was likely a St. Joseph, Missouri police officer named Michael Holman who committed the murder of Patricia Jeske, 31, in 1980, as he tried to use her credit card to buy photography gear a day after her murder. But St. Joseph police at the time chose to ignore that piece of evidence and to focus on him, who was a patient at a mental hospital and was also heavily sedated when she confessed to a crime while being interrogated by cops in the hospital. Last month, Missouri Judge Ryan Horstman ordered her release, writing in the ruling that no evidence whatsoever outside of Ms. Him's unreliable statements connect her to the crime. In contrast, this court finds the evidence directly ties Holman to this crime and murder scene. Holman, who was 22 years old at the time, was later convicted and imprisoned for insurance fraud and a string of burglaries before he passed in 2015. But Bailey appealed the judge's ruling and ordered the prison to keep her incarcerated. He even took his case to the Missouri Supreme Court, who ordered the inmate's release, but the prison kept her incarcerated on the orders of the Attorney General. It was only after Horstman threatened Bailey with contempt of court that Him was released from prison. So this guy's off the rails, man. This guy's off the rails. This is two people. Who knows? It might be hundreds. It might be thousands of people that are locked up in that state that are being kept in jail by this person Bailey, by this so-called Attorney General of Missouri, Bailey. It might be hundreds of people, man, maybe thousands of people that are being held that are not being released because of this guy. But Bailey is once again ignored Judge Horstman's advice because he's doing the same thing in the case of Dunn, who actually had alibi witnesses confirming his innocence, but they were not allowed to testify at court back in 1990. Christopher Dunn was at his mother's house hanging out and talking on the phone, and he was there, and his mother and sister would testify that he was there with them talking on the phone while his family was watching one of their favorite TV shows. But anyway, like I said, the Missouri Supreme Court sided with Bailey this time around, apparently buying the Attorney General's argument that he was not given enough time to prepare an appeal, claiming that his office was given less than an hour to respond to 3 motions totaling 15 pages. So you mean you couldn't read 15 pages in an hour? We are devastated and so confused why the Missouri Supreme Court entertained the Attorney General's improper intrusion into a matter already settled by a judge. So Christopher Dunn was literally a few steps away from freedom when the call came, and that he would be subjected to this unimaginably cruel treatment of a proven innocent man. It's torture, it's pointless, and it's a perversion of what justice should be. And this guy, like I said, this attorney general in the state of Missouri is off the rails, off the chains. Totally, what he's doing is totally illegal, going against what the judges, two judges have made a decision to let this man go, and twice he's interfered with it. Twice. Why are you trying to keep this man in jail when he's obviously innocent? So what needs to happen is uh, Merrick Garland, the federal attorney general, needs to get in contact with that Supreme Court of the state of Missouri, and they need to investigate everything that this Attorney General Bailey has been in contact with. Every case that he's been in contact with that has kept people behind bars, the federal Attorney General needs to go and investigate that attorney's office and that particular state, because what they're doing is foul, and it should never be allowed to happen. Never should be allowed to happen. Okay, this is another situation that never should have been allowed to happen. And there was a deputy that shot and killed Sonia Massey, worked for 6 different agencies in 4 years. So Sonia Massey was the Sean Grayson was fired from the Sangamon County office nearly 2 weeks after he shot and killed Massey in her Springfield, Illinois home. And it's really ridiculous. It's ridiculous how these cops are going off the rails and how these DAs are going off the rails. So he's the former sheriff's deputy is charged with murder. Had been employed by 6 agencies since 2020. 6 different agencies, man, in less than 4 years. Illinois law enforcement records show, and he twice pleaded guilty to driving under the influence of alcohol before he began working in new law enforcement. Wow. Records reveal more details about Sean Grayson's work history with other law enforcement agencies before he shot Massey, including 2 prior complaints against him during his tenure with one department and disciplinary action related to a vehicle chase. Grayson was fired from the Sangamon County Sheriff's Office on July 17th, nearly 2 weeks after he shot Massey in her home in Springfield, about 200 miles southwest of Chicago. Massey, 36, called 911 to report a suspected prowler. Grayson and another deputy that had not been identified, I wonder why they're keeping that under wraps, responded just before 1 a.m. on July 6th. Grayson shot her within seconds of demanding she drop a pot of water, and she rebuked him, and in the name of Jesus. And the body camera footage released Monday showed Massey, who was black, Grayson is white. His employment history includes a short stint as part-time officer at 3 small police departments in Illinois and full-time employment at the police department and 2 sheriff's offices. All of the agencies he worked for are in central Illinois. And so records provided by 4 of those departments do not include any complaints or disciplinary action against Grayson. He, however, was disciplined by the Logan County Sheriff's Office after he hit a deer with his squad car while in chase that violated department policy. Grayson worked for Logan County immediately before he joined Sangamon County, and his personnel record from the agency also shows that 2 people filed complaints against him. A woman accused him of inappropriate behavior during her arrest, and her fiance, who was an inmate at Logan jail, accused him of abusing his power and harassment when Grayson questioned the man in jail after the woman's arrest. Grayson rebutted the allegations, both complaints, which are marked as unfounded by his file, but his report said he left the sheriff's office. I'm telling you, man, this guy's off the chain, off the rails, man. He's over there shooting innocent people. But anyway, he got fired and he's been charged. He's been charged with murder. And so this fatal shooting has drawn comments from President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. And the Justice Department said it is aware of assessing the circumstances surrounding it. And Justice Department said it will continue to track the criminal case opened by the Sangamon County state's attorney. And what they really need to do in the state of Illinois is put a law on the books that states if you get fired from a police department in the state of Illinois, basically in the whole country, you should never be allowed to get another job as a cop. In no place. You should never, ever be allowed to be a cop again. You know, it's crazy, man. Crazy what's going on here. So we got anyway, we have Barack Obama and Michelle Obama have endorsed Kamala Harris in her White House bid, giving the vice president the expected but still crucial backing of the nation's two most popular Democrats. Harris will announce her running mate by August 7th, with her aides currently in the first rounds of interviews. On Thursday, Harris stated that she's ready to debate Trump, although his advisors from the former president said they would not commit to a debate. So Trump is scared. Trump is scared, and he's afraid to debate Kamala Harris because he knows that he's going to look like a complete idiot over there. He's going to look like an old grandpa over there with senile old grandpa, which is what he is. And it's going, hey, it's crazy. But anyway, Nevada Democrats energized ahead of November with Harris at the helm. So Vice President Kamala Harris's presidential bid officially launched Thursday as the Silver State Democrats prepared for a sprint in campaigning ahead of November election just over 100 days from now. For the first time since President Joe Biden dropped out of the presidential race on Sunday and endorsed his second in command, Democrats had gathered in Las Vegas campaign offices where Biden-Harris signs were replaced by Harris 2024 posters and banners. What we have ahead of us is a sprint for the next 100 days, said National Democratic Attorney General Aaron Ford. And one thing I know about her, she isn't scared. So we have to continue to fight. We're going to continue to galvanize and work together. And this high energy out here could be felt in the former Biden-Harris campaign office on Spring Mountain Road. More than 60 people packed inside the small building that had been decked out with handmade signs on the walls that read "Women for Harris, fight for reproductive rights." And, so a 73-year-old woman said that she's impressed, nervous about it, and totally impressed about how everybody's come together to make sure that they protect the democracy of the United States. And supporters heard from Assemblywoman in Nevada State Democratic Party Chairwoman Danielle Moreno, who highlighted the stakes of the election, including the Democrats' previously successful campaign talking point of abortion. She highlighted Trump's record as well as previous statements from his running mate, DJ Vance, who is outspoken anti-abortion record. The campaign hit the ground running since it just launched a few days ago. This weekend, it's launching a bigger, even better mobilized blitz to mark the 100 days until the election. It was hold over 50 events in Nevada, from press events to canvas launches to visit from political surrogates involving dozens of elected officials and over 3,000 people. Harris's campaign announced Thursday. So they're getting ready to get busy here. And Republicans that had their rally in Milwaukee last week, are they going to try to come to Nevada too? Boy, I'm telling you, man. Yep. They're running scared, folks. Anyway, this KP's Video News. Like I said, don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to hit that notification bell. Don't forget to hit that like button and leave a comment. KP's Video News, y'all. And have a blessed day. And get out there and vote. Don't forget, check your voter registration, because the Republicans have been doing some really tricky stuff. They've been taking people's names off the voters' rolls in all 50 states. So watch out. Check your voter registration. Take some old person over to the DMV so they can get a ID card. They don't need a driver's license. So they can get an ID card so they can vote, and they'll automatically be registered check your voter registration. And I feel energized over here. Anyway, KP's Video News, y'all. It's KP.